Jeez. What's going on, you beautiful steppers, man? Where do I even start? It's been a minute. First off, I want to start with a huge thank you to all of you guys, all of you steppers out there that subscribe to the channel. We hit that 1,000 mark. I remember I was at 28 subscribers for what seemed like the longest time. So to be at 1,000 has really been, in some ways, a dream come true. So I really appreciate that. And I guess before we get into all of it, I need to reintroduce myself. My name is D'Angelo. I'm S2, the heart of Steps to Success Digital Media. And I've just moved from South Florida back to my hometown of Cincinnati, Ohio, to my parents' house. So before we get into exactly where I'm at and where I'm going, let's first talk about where I've been and where we've been as a channel, right? So this whole journey, this whole movement started a couple years back, about 5 years now. Really wild to think about 5 years ago. Heard about this real estate investing technique called real estate wholesaling while I was watching The Breakfast Club. And I was watching The Breakfast Club while I was on break at JD Byrider. So fast forward time, it took me 9 months to get my first wholesale deal. After I got my first wholesale deal, ended up wholesaling properties until the end of 2019 when I moved to Scottsdale, Arizona with my girlfriend at the time, who I met back in college, and we dropped out of college and I was playing college football. I mean, the journey just really doesn't end, right? So that's where I've pretty much been. I was out there in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, or I was out there in Scottsdale, Arizona for a little second, about 2.5 years. Broke up with my ex, ended up moving to Florida, and I discovered my real calling, my real passion being music and also building this into an actual digital media company. So someone close to me, one of my guys, shout out to big bro Chris, he ended up just basically giving me perspective on why I have to make this video, because a lot of you guys who've been following me for some time, you might have been thinking like, man, this guy's been cold calling, you know what I'm saying, talking about real estate, now he's doing music. What is he actually doing in life? You know what I'm saying? So just understand that, you know, everything always incorporates with each other. But to explain more about how that even came about, as far as where I've been, I discovered my real calling to actually make music back in June of 2022. And the reason why is the most important. So the reason why is because, as I said, I figured out about wholesaling through a pop culture medium, being The Breakfast Club. So figuring out about wholesaling, you know, watching The Breakfast Club, that ended up changing my whole perspective on life. That shifted my whole direction in life, right? Before I found out about wholesaling real estate, my plan was to go back to University of Cincinnati and basically just become a regular student, but my heart never was in school. So once I found out about wholesaling real estate, and back in June of 2022, I figured out that in order for me to actually bring the masses to real estate wholesaling and real estate investing, specifically real estate investing, I have to incorporate myself into music. And the reason for this is because right now, when you look over the internet and when you think about yourself maybe watching this, you ultimately search for inspiration, right? So people that are looking for inspiration, they're searching for it. People that are looking to figure out how to invest in real estate, they're searching for it. When I was on lunch break that day, I was not searching for how to become a real estate investor, how to have a virtual business, how to do any of these things. I was not searching for that day. I didn't even know about it. That's the biggest thing. I didn't even know that was a possibility, right? And I was 19 years old at the time. So me not even knowing that was a possibility, me not even knowing about any of these things, that's a problem. That's a problem for people that look like me, being a black community, and that's a problem for anybody that's out there on the journey of success, that's looking for a way to become successful and to ultimately provide generational wealth for your family, right? So here at Steps to Success Digital Media, that's where we come in. We are able to indirectly, give you steppers a path, being a path of success. So just being able to offer an alternative route. That's not to say that real estate investing or real estate wholesaling is the route to go. It's not to say that it's for everybody. It may not even be for you, but the bottom line is now you have options by being here at Steps to Success Digital Media. So tell a friend about us, you know what I'm saying? Tell anybody, tell your neighbors, tell everybody that we're here. And when I say that we're here, this is what we're doing. So me as an artist, S2, it allows me to be able to impact and embrace, having you steppers out there that may not be looking for anything about real estate investing or anything about even, daily inspiration, any of these things. If you're not even interested in it, you may indirectly come in contact with that type of content by just looking at the music itself. So this is what I think about, one of my biggest passions with this is that When I think about myself at 13, 14, 15, 16, I could have been wholesaling real estate. There's no age limit to wholesaling real estate, right? So I could have already been doing that. And wholesaling real estate ultimately is the introductory level. An important note, once I actually found out about my passion to become a musician and my passion to create the Steps to Success digital media, I actually lost my passion for wholesaling real estate. But I've never lost my passion for real estate investing. The ultimate goal for me with real estate investing is to own multi-families and also mixed-use buildings all over the United States and really all over the world. But you know, we gonna start it in our hometown first, started in our home nation first. But this being said, that's the ultimate main goal. But you know, to get there, steps and increments. It doesn't really matter how I get there. That's not really up to me to decide. That's up for the universe to decide. But all that really matters is I know what I want and I know where I'm going. So that's what matters most, and the universe is going to meet me halfway. So back to you steppers. Us as a company, being able to be a one-stop shop for your daily inspiration and also entertain you guys through music. Our ultimate mission statement, where our mission statement is to be able to educate, inspire, and entertain the culture. That's our goal. Put it simple, that's our goal. Educate, inspire, entertain the culture. That's what we want to do, pretty much in that order. And it may be reverse: entertain, inspire, and educate, because I find that, you know, being direct with the actual education can feel like, you know, I don't want to feel like you guys are being bombarded by stuff, right? I want you to actually seek out the information, but seek it out under the same umbrella. Whereas right now, you pretty much everywhere you look, you have to seek it out differently, right? You know, just looking around, kids right now, they know the favorite Drake songs, right? They know the new Drake songs, you know, Be Patient With Me, that song, right? But they don't know who Don Peebles is. So it's just like, that's a real, like I said, it's something that we are hearing. It's a void that I see, and it's a void that I feel that needs to be filled. And that's what we're providing, right? So back when I discovered the music, that was always my #1 mission in mind. It was my purpose of doing music. But somewhere along that path, like I said, I actually lost my passion for wholesaling real estate, which is ultimately why I'm back here in Cincinnati, Ohio. So to bring it where I'm currently where I'm at right now, right? So where I'm at, me being back here in Cincinnati, Ohio, had to do with me losing my passion for wholesaling real estate. The life that I built for myself, everything that I did for myself, as far as me being able to have a virtual company, that was my #1 goal. And you know, sometimes you get exactly what you want. And I would just caution anybody out there that's wholesaling real estate. One thing that no one talks about, even when I first began, people that I was learning from, they don't talk about how lonely this business is, right? So after I got out of a relationship, I stayed in Scottsdale, Arizona. I stayed there for another year, and I stayed in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Ended up moving there for like another year. But here's the thing with me as a person, I'm so focused on, you know, my business. I'm focused on building generational wealth, not only for my kids and my family that's coming after me, but also for my family before me, who's provided for me to be in the stable position that I am in. So in order for me to do that, my focus has always been on 100. But this being said, when you're focused on 100, sometimes other areas of your life, you know what I'm saying? It's like you build in levels of your life. And one of my areas of my life that I haven't given the most attention to just throughout my 24 years of living is, ironically enough, relationships, right? So me in relationships, it's just been like, you know, what are we ultimately doing? That's from friendships to also romantic relationships as well, to be real with you. So I just haven't been able to find that balance, and I'm in the midst of finding that balance. You know, I like to speak things into existence. So I'm in the midst of finding that balance. But when to go back to how lonely the sport is of wholesaling, much like boxing, it's a lonely sport, especially when you're virtually doing it, right? So one of the biggest things for me being virtual, I wanted to be virtual so my income did not have to depend on where I'm living at, right? That was my biggest thing. I was like, I need to be virtual so my income cannot depend on where I'm living at. And I did exactly that. But like I said, after being out of a relationship and pretty much being by myself and focused on my business, there comes a point where you want to have people around. And also when you're building a company and you have, you know, boots on the ground in the city that you're in, but you don't really have a full relationship with those people established first, that means that they're only in it for the money. And it's just like so many things. I had a lot of ups and downs with me hiring people and firing people and just, you know, having help and all of this stuff. I mean, it's been a challenge. It's been a journey, right? So me losing my passion for real estate investing, wholesaling real estate, not real estate investing, me losing my passion for that ultimately took away the life that I built for myself. I built this life for me to be able to, travel, and me to be hiking in mountains while I'm closing in deals, and me to be taking jogs to the beach every morning. That was my life down in Florida. Maybe I'll give you guys a video about that. I don't know, but it was a great time down there in Florida. I'll jog to the beach every morning. Check out the TikTok if you like. It always felt like a tourist attraction. Well, it was a tourist attraction living on Las Olas, so it was like really nice being around people. It always kept like that energy there. But ultimately, I was just focused on, what I had doing. So it was like, as the party goes on, I'm just in my own little corner right here, focused, putting these blocks together, building these bricks day by day. But this being said, when you're wholesaling real estate, you have to be passionate about what you're doing. Your heart has to be in it. And I read a quote the other day. It was about an NBA player. And the NBA player said about 90% of the top athletes in the league don't actually love the game. They don't actually love the NBA. And at first I was surprised, but then I realized the biggest difference, right? Because the biggest difference between the NBA or NFL, these type of players, when you show up to the game, you still get a check. No matter how bad you play, no matter how good you play. When it comes to sales and when it comes to wholesale real estate in particular, no matter how good you call, no matter how good you close that deal, and it's really all avenues of real estate investing, and also, even being a realtor is on that same level as well. No matter how good you do on the phone, no matter how good your rapport is built with that seller, there's no guarantee that you actually get the deal closed and that you actually get your check at closing, right? So that's the biggest difference. And when you're giving your all to something and it doesn't happen for a while, as far as you closing a deal, it's so easy for your heart to just be like, what am I even doing this for? Like, you just feel like, why am I doing this? And I got to that point, and me getting at that point, it led me to the place where, I guess we're still on where I've been, but it led me to the place where I was like, what's the point of me doing this? I'm ready to, become an artist. I'm ready to get off with Steps to Success digital media. I'm ready to take this to the next level. But then I had to really humble myself, and just how everything, as far as Fort Lauderdale and South Florida, how that whole situation ended up wrapping up. It wasn't until I got back here in Cincinnati, Ohio, where I was able to really humble myself from the standpoint of like, what makes me me, what makes Steps to Success is the real estate investing and real estate in general, right? Real estate is what makes us different. It's what sets us apart than any other entertainer that you're going to come in contact with, any other digital media company that you're going to come in contact with. It sets us apart because, for one, we're able to show you the entertainment. We're able to show you the actual educational process of real estate investing. And ultimately, we're able to inspire you in a different way by showing you how it all started. This whole channel, you can go back and look at it. It was me outside in Arizona, super hot outside, got my glasses on, everything was looking different, right? And I just was out there just had this passion of how to show you guys about real estate investing. I mean, the passion burned so deep that I really gave it my all. I gave it my all, my energy, and also resources that it took, and ultimately focus that it even took away from my personal life, being my relationship, my family, just all kind of stuff. So that being said, me realizing that what makes us us, what makes me me is real estate first, is what got me really back humbled from the standpoint of actually doing the business again. And this is something that you guys have to look forward to. We'll talk about that more in the next little, where I've been. But as far as to get back to where I'm at in my personal life right now, I am at the point where I am wholesaling real estate. I'm back on the ground as far as being able to be in the city. So that's been really great, just me being in the city of Cincinnati and me being able to be at the properties again. I haven't been in the city and at the properties in 4 years because I left pretty much that first year. Once I got everything popping, I was virtual. So me being on the ground again has been really amazing. So that part of it is giving me a different perspective. But also the biggest part for me, to be truthful with you guys, is my family. No matter where I lived at, from the standpoint of me living in Scottsdale, Arizona, from the standpoint of me living in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, beautiful scenery, beautiful area. I always felt like I was pretty much on vacation because, it's sunny all the time. I'm able to hike when I was in Arizona. And if you're wondering which one I like better, I would really probably say Arizona, except it just didn't have water. But the reason why I liked Arizona better is because it had the nature. It was more naturistic. Florida, South Florida specifically, is like, it's just like one big vacation. Like, there's just so much city involved that there's not so much nature. And I'm a big nature person, so you can probably hear the birds chirping right now. So I really love nature. Fort Lauderdale, South Florida in general is still great. I like to party, I like to celebrate type of things, but like for the most part, like I said, I'm really a focused kind of person. So this being said though, get back to it. Me being here and me being around my family, like my family wasn't in Scottsdale, Arizona. My family wasn't in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So me coming back, it was like everything I didn't know that I needed from the standpoint of actually me being around my family. And me growing up, I've always been a big family-oriented person. Me growing up, you know, from always having barbecues, birthdays around family, every holiday we getting together type stuff. So it's just been nice actually seeing my siblings grow up, like us being together, like as you know, seeing my siblings and being in my siblings' life from a more hands-on point of view and not just FaceTiming them through the screen. I don't know, this may be too emotional, but like if you got siblings, you probably can understand something like that, like, or just family that's in general. FaceTiming them through the screen just doesn't compare to the impact and that feeling that you're able to have when you're actually in their life. So it's really been an exciting experience with that. As it pertains to the business itself, it's been exciting. And I guess the only last part is like my dating life. My dating life is pretty much like, it's been cool, but like I've been so focused that I think I just I haven't been wanting to rush into anything, and it's like that's resulted in me like not taking full, I guess, advantage of certain relationships that I had. And it was just like romantic relationships, not really a full relationship, more so friendships. I just decided to like we should keep it as friends because I'm at the point in my life again where I'm just so focused on that. But yes, I do want a relationship. I just feel like at this point in my life, like, what are we actually doing together? Like, there's so much that I have in my mind to build, and so much that I am building. Me just being in a relationship just because I'm attracted to you and you're attracted to me just doesn't make sense. We might as well stay friends and just kick it for however long it lasts. So that's just kind of where I'm at with my relationship. It's been where I'm at for like the past 2 years with my relationships. But and you know, my romantic relationships and also friendships has been cool. As far as friendships, I've been at the kind of the same thing, but I am learning a steady kind of difference as far as a friend and a partner, being a business partner. So it's like there's a thin line there, and I prefer not to blur those lines. I've blurred those lines before from the standpoint of me having friends that try to make it like a business thing, but it didn't work out, and then of course that just affects the friendship as well. So rather be friends first, then we move into business. That way we know how to, you know what I'm saying, but make sure that our friendship is solid first. That's like the big thing for me. And I would say that's really where I'm at as far as my biggest like avenues in life, being with dating and, you know, relationships in general. Those are like two big avenues that I said I just haven't put that much focus into. It's kind of like, it's really like my weakness, and I'm not really like, I'm not proud to say that because when I was in high school, one of my main football coach, his biggest thing was like, no matter how much money you got, no matter how much anything you have, ultimately you have relationships at the end. Those are who want to be showing up to your funeral. Those are going to be the people that keep your name alive, keep your story alive. So I'm looking to really focus more on my relationship side of my life with, you know, romantically and also just friendships. I'm really looking to put more focus into it, but also making sure that it incorporates itself to the overall vision, because everything ultimately has to incorporate to the overall vision. Just how I look at life. So that's where I've been. This is, you know, where I'm at as well here in the city, and then where I'm going. I can tell you guys right now, I do, and when I was like in 4th grade, they are actually like 2nd or 3rd grade. Anyway, they tried to diagnose me with ADHD, and my parents thankfully did not put me on the Ritalin or put me on the Adderall, you know what I'm saying? That stuff really takes away your personality, but I can say that like I probably do have ADHD. Just being real with myself. And the reason I say that is because like I can't sit still. Wait, let me actually correct myself. When it comes to relationships, I feel like as far as friendships wise, at this point in my life, it's better to come, you know, business first and then friendships. And the reason I say this is really important because I feel like some people just, you know, they can look at it different ways, which I ultimately don't care how somebody else looks at it. I know how I feel about it. But this is why I say this. The reason why I say this is because my closest relationships, my closest friendships, you know, specifically my closest friendships, they've come from bonding together over a common goal, right? So like when I was young, literally throughout my whole life, I played football since I was like 4 years old, right? So all of my like friendships I've had throughout my life, they've all come by way of football, or like I wrestled for a little bit as well, but they've all come by way of me actually doing something with somebody. So doing something with somebody for a common interest, a common goal, is how I built all of my friendships, all my relationships. And even if you in your personal life, if you are a person who's not an entrepreneur, then you really can relate to what I'm saying. Most likely some of your friendships, if not your childhood friends, I ain't talking about childhood friends that you run around the block with, right? I'm talking about your actual grown-up relationships. They most likely come from your people who you work with. That's at least what that's what I've observed from people who, throughout their living their life and people I talk to. It seems like most of their friendships come from people that they work with, or people they met at a yoga class, or people that they're doing something with. So this is why I'm saying, like, as it pertains to me, like, looking forward, most likely my friendships will come business first. Even one of my closest, friendships to this day, since I've started in real estate investing, is one of my business partners and like a mentor, business partner, friend, my guy Chris. He's been like us. We always started as business first, closed a lot of deals, did a lot of things together. To this point now, we've grown into a friendship. When I first called him, first talked to him, it was nothing but business. And then as we've, done things together, it progressed into a friendship. But there's a mutual understanding there as far as, like, how we both help each other out, be it with actual business, and also it extended to life after that. So that's kind of just where I'm at. Like, I have family. My family, I don't expect that from. My family, I have cousins, I have little cousins, big. I have family. So it's like friendships that don't really breed anything except for somebody getting a drink or, just kicking. I'm not even saying like that's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but I'm just saying that's just where I'm at in life. So it's not a bad thing. It's just where I'm at in life. You may be somewhere different, but it's just what I look at as far as, contributing to the overall vision, which is building generational wealth for those to, come after me and those that preceded me. So this being said, as it goes to relationships, it's kind of like the same thing. Like, and it's like I said, I don't care how people think about it, but it's just like what I see, it's what I feel. So it's like, I just feel like if we are attracted to each other, that's not a means for us to get into a relationship, because we enjoy each other's, attractions. Just because we enjoy each other's attractions, that's not a reason for us to get into a relationship. Some people don't understand that. Some people think it's best to rush into a relationship just because you're attracted and you like the feeling of the person. Me, I don't think like that. I feel like that's a great friend, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't always work out. It doesn't always work out like that. I'm funny. Anyway, I'm gonna keep this up. We'll see. Anyway, yeah, that's just what I look at it like that. Ideally, my next relationship will be somebody that, like, we don't even have to be in the same industry, but like, you got your thing going on, I got my thing going on, and faithfully we can come together in some way that it benefits both of us. But like, at least we're both out here, you know what I'm saying, with the common goal in mind, common interests and common work ethics and common stuff like that. Like, that's what's more attractive to me than just, there's a lot of attractive people in the world, not even just speaking about women. Like, there's a lot of attractive people in the world, even from a woman's point of view. So it's like, even as a woman that's watching this, that may be thinking, it's like, what sets somebody apart for me is not just the attraction. So I don't know if that's like that for you, but like, of course I'm gotta be attracted to you. Of course, everything else gotta be great, but it's like, that's just the icing on the top. That's the cherry on the top. First, you gotta make sure your foundation's solid, you got direction in life and all that, but of course you're gonna look good too. So that's just, you know what I'm saying? I'm out here manifesting. I'm done with myself. Anyway, so, like I said, I got ADHD. Definitely do. Never took medicine for it. Never took the Adderalls and stuff like that. Never been my thing, even the focus. But this being said, where I'm going. So where I am going. Ultimately, guys, the shape of this channel, when I was sitting back and I was thinking, like, man, what are we going to do? How are we going, how are we going to proceed next? To be real with you, this next stage of the channel was just going to be stage 3 of the shorts, which stage 3 of the shorts content you definitely want to stay on the lookout for. We're going to have the what we've already been doing as far as with the hip hop artists, but we're going to intertwine that to something else, which is going to be great. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see how we progressed from the first stage of it with the white background. Second stage was the red background, so the next stage will be something different, but keeping some things the same, but switching up a little bit. So that was going to be just the next stage of the channel, but also, like I said, I just can't sit still, even from a physical location point of view. So wherever I'm at in the world, you guys will know about that and actually want to stay, you know, you want to stay tuned into the channel and stay tuned into the journey if you're interested in just learning about where I'm going next from a physical location place. But from a business point of view and from an audience point of view, I actually, instead of me taking myself out of the equation, D'Angelo out of the equation, you know what I'm saying, I was going to leave the heart in there as too, as an artist, going to stay in the equation, but, you know, be more in the background. But I'm actually going to put myself, D'Angelo, more into the equation, right? So I'm going to put myself more into the equation, which means that you guys are going to learn more about the business. For a long time, I've kind of just been holding you guys back from my actual self, from the standpoint of me being able to show the business side of myself. The business side of myself is why you guys have gotten anything that you've ever seen. And I feel like I haven't really shown that side of myself. I've shown the educator side, just me educating you guys about how to do this or how to do that, but actually me showing how the deals get closed, how I get the properties under contract, how the properties look. Now I'm back here on the boots on the ground in Cincinnati, so it's going to be a lot easier for me to show that. Bottom line is, the next phase of the content is going to be more into my personal life, which I have to find a balance there, because I actually don't like that at all. Like, I don't like giving you guys my personal life, to be real with you. It's really weird to me, but like, I have shared, you know, certain personal stories in my life, you know, my body, my hair, like I've shared those stories, and you guys seem to like that kind of content. So you're gonna get more of my personal life. And it's gonna be awkward for me, but like, it's gonna be cool. So that being said, guys, one other thing that you want to take a look out for, if you're into reading, we also have articles that we're putting out now. So just really maximizing it, bringing us into a digital media company. As I said, we're just really leaning into everything that makes us different, makes us us. You know, you can see other people, you can look around, graze the land, see what other people are offering, but what you're getting here at Steps to Success, it doesn't compare to anywhere else. And that's from the aspect of being an artist, that's the digital media company, and that's also real estate. And real estate is more what you're going to see, more close up and personal with the business, is which more what you're going to see in addition to the short form content. So really excited for the future of the company, really excited for the future of the channel. All in all, guys, appreciate you watching this long. And if you got any questions or any like comments or anything, leave that down below. If you found any of this update, channel update, you found any of it entertaining, any of it, you know what I'm saying, that you liked, go ahead and hit us with a like button. And I would say my biggest advice to you guys is like, just be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. As I said in the beginning, the loneliness that you really feel in places where you're at the beginning stage of your journey, because in a lot of ways I'm still in the beginning, and when I really look back, I'm like, you know, though I'm 24 years old, I've done a lot from where I thought I was going to go, be it football. I really thought I was going to go far with football, from the sense of in college playing football, and who knows, the pros was ultimately like part of the plan, but like it was never the plan, I can say that. But I was so indulged in that, you know, I gave that a lot of years of my life from me being 4 years old, that, you know, where I'm at now in the journey is just 4 or 5 years, and 3 years of it been on camera. So we're still at the beginning, and I'm really excited about where we're going to be physically, you know, coming up. But right now we're here in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm loving it back here. It's like crazy just being in the city. Real quick, being in the city, and so often, like, no matter where I've went, right? So I was in Scottsdale, I was in South Florida. Everybody I met pretty much. It was a few people that really loved where they were at, but like anybody I met that was from that location, be it from Scottsdale, Arizona, or Arizona in general, or be it from South Florida, they were ready to move. There were people in South Florida that couldn't wait to go to like the Colorado. They wanted to go to California. They wanted to go overseas. They were just like, I'm done being here in South Florida. Same with Scottsdale, Arizona. People in Arizona wanted to go to Florida. Like a lot of people wanted to go to Florida out in Arizona. Some wanted to go to California, and some wanted to go to Vegas. But mainly people that were just looking to explore. They were like, I'm done living here in Scottsdale, or yeah, I'm done living in Arizona. It's too hot out here. I want to be by water. Da 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 da. Again, for me, I enjoyed both areas. I can say that what makes a place home, no matter where you go, is actually having people there. And when I say people there, I mean like building up a family in some ways, like building up a group of people, y'all all focused on the same thing. Having people there makes a place home. It's not the location itself. That's like my biggest, and I'm happy I've realized this. Like, you know, I've got so much life to live, so much more still to do, so much more to go. But it's like, I was, hindsight 2020, looking at the wrong things, right? Like my whole thing was like, I just want to be there. But then it's like once you get there, like you get tired of the place because ultimately life is what you make it no matter where you at. There was times I was in freaking South Florida, like 2 miles from the beach, literally. Jog there, jog back in 25, 30 minutes. And well, like 40 minutes. You can see the jog thing. I was tired on that jog thing though. But I would jog there and jog back. I'm right there by the beach and I was still bored. Like I was literally bored. Like I felt like I had nothing to do. I'm like, boy, you got so much stuff to do, but like you just it's just the balance, guys. Ultimately about finding the balance of your work-life balance, finding the balance of actually having a people that you can get things done with, but also have fun with, right? So you're all moving towards something, you're all 100% into it, ain't no half-stepping, ain't no I kinda in it, I'm kinda not in it, I kinda don't wanna show that I'm into it, like I kinda just wanna be, ain't none of that. Y'all all 100% into it, but also y'all all able to 100% have fun together. That's ultimately what I want. And that's why I took it, I had to go back to actually do that portion because I understand the power of words, right? I understand the power of, ultimately this is like, when I look back over everything that I've done, I've manifested it. So me talking right now, I'm manifesting it. I'm manifesting these mixed-use buildings nationwide. We will most likely own property out of the country as well. And also manifesting having positive relationships. That's the main thing that I want in my life from the standpoint of having relationships where we're able to get things done, but we're also able to have fun together. So like, and we're all 100% supportive into it. So like I said, no half-stepping. That's the biggest thing with me. So that is what I really want. And I want love in my life again. There was so long, even with those few years that I was, by myself, I was having fun, meeting people. A big thing for me has been, having this platform and, growing steps to success. I've always tried to separate my love life, if you want to call it that, my, romantic life or whatever, from my life here on the camera, because I feel like I'm doing us both a disservice if I, give you my social media and give you all that. Like, I don't even want to see your social media. I don't ever ask for people's social media until I get to know them. And that's just how I roll. But, T-Mobile was messing me up. T-Mobile giving my whole name out. People were able to go search. I'll tell them I'm from Arizona. Then they search this. And then they see. Next thing you know, people seeing me on social media. And I had no clue how until it dawned on me T-Mobile was giving my full name out. So I got that switched up now. And I'm able to focus more on my... I don't know, like I like keeping those roles separate unless I meet somebody through like digital or through, social media or something. Then that'll be like a different, I haven't done that. I like to meet people in person, like actually in the real world, and just keep it regular. Like let's just get to know each other before I have to before you see stuff online and then you kind of like, you're able to gain an idea of somebody and you feel like you know somebody before you ever get to know them. And that's what I don't, that's the only thing that's been like, I'm not gonna say I don't like it, because ultimately I do want the brand to be big enough that everybody knows me, everybody knows the brand, everybody knows all of that. But I just understand like there's something different, that being able to actually form a real relationship when you don't already are able to get an idea of somebody. But if it happens, however it happens, I'm just open to it. I'm open to love again in my life. I'm open to love from a romance points of view, and also love from friendships, business relationships, all of these things. Anything I do, I have to do it with love. My heart has to be in it. That's the only way I find success within it. That's why with wholesaling, my heart got out of it, and it was like, everything basically went to HE hockey sticks, right? Like it was like, dang, what happened? Because my heart wasn't in it anymore. But when my heart's in it, I know what I do. So you guys will be able to see that as well, more so. But that pretty much covers everything. This camera is getting hot, so it's about to cut off. And last thing I can say, as always, until next time, man, get to stepping. Hey, thanks, man. Jeez.